Hey guys, welcome back to the workshop. Today I've got a new little doodad in my shop, all the way from Canada, and it's from a little company called J.Bauer Electronics, and it is a Radian light controller. Yeah, I have a Night Radian, and I love it. It's a lot of fun, but the one thing that a lot of people complain about, and me too, I wish it had come with a separate switch that I could control the lights with on my radio, and that's exactly what this does. So let's get right into it, and I'm going to let you guys follow along while I solder up some connections. All right, so first one, I explained to you what I've already done in preparation. This is pretty much what the kit comes with, minus these wires here. It comes with these two servo extensions for connecting the unit directly to your receiver. And I am personally using an FR Sky receiver with a built-in variometer. I just prefer my FR Sky systems, so we'll just leave it at that. But I did prepare this circuit board by using the wiring diagram that they send along with it, available for download on their website. And I covered the terminals with some hot glue just to insulate them for the future and keep everything nice and safe and neutral in case anything ever gets wet. Not expecting it to, however, it's just an extra precaution. The first thing you're really going to want to do is get your insulation taken off of the power supply and the switches. So let's get to that. So this is what it looks like after you've removed all of the insulation over top of it. You're left with these three buttons on your controller board. Obviously you've got moving up and down through the patterns and selecting the different pattern that you want, and controls your speed and whatnot. And here's your main power board. Now the idea here is that we're going to solder in two wires from the controller into the switch to as well as a ground. And the other three on these three wires will be soldered to the button tabs. All right, so the first thing that we really want to do is isolate everything that's easy. And I think that that would be the positive and, well, for the switch, as well as your ground. So there's some additional insulation you need to peel off here. And also, I'm going to tie in a ground right here, since that's coming directly from our source, which is going to be our 3-cell LiPo. So let's go ahead and I'm going to desolder these and get things wired up here. All right, so the plan of attack here is you've got this board here, and you want to position it so that your positive terminal is up. And we're going to be wiring these wires directly to the tops of each one of the sides of these switches. And you can see very gently, it's trying to zoom in, yeah, there's these little tiny pads here that we're gonna try to solder these to. And the order is not too terribly difficult. We're gonna go with number 1, which in the wiring diagram is the dark color, and it's like a brown. So we're going to go 1, 2, and 3. So brown, red, and yellow. Got it? Good. And that, dear friends, is that. Pretty simple. I added just a tiny little bit of flux to the very ends of these wires that I had pre-tinned, and as I set it on each one of the contact pads, just lightly touched it with my soldering iron, which had a little bit of solder, just melted these directly to each one of these contacts. Super, super easy. Okay, so after doing a little bit of troubleshooting, it seems that I had a couple of things a little bit turned around. So let me explain. So the first thing is that I went back and I eliminated my power connections from where the switch turns on and off. Okay, so that's number one. I relocated my ground from here to over here. So the whole idea is that we need to control this thing, not this thing. This is going to supply voltage no matter what, which is what we want. We just want to control it. So then I was able to get the lights to turn on, but it was kind of erratic and I couldn't get them to turn off. So then I figured out, okay, so number 6, let's check that here. Yeah, number 6 goes to the power coming off of the power supply. And number 5 gets plugged into the positive, as opposed to the positive that was there, just bridged, okay? So you separate those two out, and obviously this is my ground, okay? And everything else is the same. Now what we're gonna do is we're bringing in the radio. So I've got my momentary switch up here, and its normal resting mode is at 100%. And when I pull the switch forward, it is at negative 100%. I've got this switch here on the 3-position switch. I've got 100%, 0, and negative 100%. All right? So, I know. So I'm going to hold this toggle switch, the momentary one, for a couple of seconds. And we have lights. So I'm going to move the switch to the all the way forward position at positive 100%, and I'm going to do a clip of the toggle switch, the momentary toggle switch. All right, see, it changes the pattern. Now if I move the 3-position switch to the middle, nothing happens, but quick blip on the momentary switch, it's slow. Flip it again and it goes a little bit faster, and then a little bit faster. And I'm tired of this. So let's go back to green, red, blue, yellow. That's kind of fun. So as you see, by putting the 3-position switch in different positions, it doesn't do anything. It's only when you activate the momentary switch. So I've got it moved all the way to the forward position, but I'm going to hold this toggle switch for a few seconds and then release it, and the lights go off. Hold the switch again for another couple of seconds and release it, and the lights come back on. Okay, so we're all set. We're hunky-dory. We're gonna put some hot glue on these terminals. We're gonna wrap up some of these wires with electrical tape, and I'll show you how all of that looks, and I'll be right back. All right, so here we are. We're all wrapped up. We've got everything plugged in. I've got my normal 2200 graphene pack that flies this just fine. I tucked my little XT60 connector in there, as well as our supply for the lights, and we have lights. And we can change the pattern and the speed. All sorts of fun things you can do. And the insulation that I used, it's just normal electrical tape, Super 33 Plus. I really like this stuff. It's really good for low temperatures and hot temperatures. It's good stuff. So definitely wrap stuff like that, makes it easy. So there you go. Well, that's it, guys. That's all there is to it. It's really that simple. There's a couple of YouTube videos on this already out there, but I thought I would give it to you all put together in one concise area and let you build along with me. But I highly recommend you check them out. I'll put a link to them in the description below. And thanks so much for following along. And I'm Joshua Orchard. Something's gonna bring the change. Journeys we are meant to take. Something at the edge of space, calling us to fly away.